Hey guys, today we're going to be taking a look at and installing the Ford Performance 70mm Billet Throttle Body for 2015 to 2017 EcoBoost Mustangs. This throttle body is going to be a good option for EcoBoost owners out there that have heavily modified their car or are looking to heavily modify their car. A throttle body isn't usually the best first mod, but it's definitely helpful down the line after you've already done some modifications to your car. It's going to open up airflow and improve throttle response. This is a 70mm single bore true Ford Performance part. It cost about $600 and I'm going to call the install a 3 out of 3 wrenches in the difficulty meter. We'll go ahead and show you how it installs now. For this install we use a 3/8 drive impact gun, a 3/8 drive power ratchet, a 5mm Allen, 2 small extensions, a 10mm socket, an 8mm socket, and a 7mm socket. Alright guys, so for the first step of your install, you might want to remove your air box. So we still have the stock air box on this car, but I'm not sure what kind of air box you guys have on yours. We're going to go ahead and just pull our air box. We'll leave the intake tube installed in the car. So I have a 7mm socket here. I'm going to separate the air box from the tube right here at this clamp. I'll loosen the clamp. Then I'm also going to remove the sensor, and then there's a 10mm bolt over here holding the air box in place. That's going to give us a little bit more room to get to the throttle body bolts. All right, then we have our 10mm bolt over here. At this point, our air box is free and we can remove it from the car. Our next step is to take a 7mm socket and loosen this clamp here on the intake tube that's leading into the throttle body. Once it's loose, we'll be able to remove the tube. Next, we'll disconnect our throttle body electrical connection, which is this right here. Like usual, we have a red locking tab, so make sure you pull that tab out. Then you'll be able to release the electrical connection. All right guys, so now all we have to do is remove the 4 bolts that are holding our throttle body in place. For that, you'll need an 8mm socket, and I have switched over to my lower profile power ratchet for this. So with our factory throttle body uninstalled, we can take a quick second here and compare the factory throttle body to the new Ford Performance throttle body. So your factory throttle body is a 60mm throttle body, and the Ford Performance is obviously a 70mm throttle body. So that's a 10mm increase there. The Ford Performance throttle body also looks much different. It's made of billet aluminum and it has a polished exterior. It does have a little Ford logo here on the top. It's just much nicer looking overall. So the Ford throttle body is a complete bolt-on replacement and it is ready to go right out of the box. Has all of your electrical components here. It does come with new mounting hardware too, so you don't even have to reuse your factory hardware. This doesn't need a recalibration either. This is something that you guys can take right out of the box and bolt right onto your car. It can be paired with the SR Performance throttle body spacer too if you guys wanted to, but it doesn't necessarily require it. We're gonna go ahead and install it as is without any spacer. All right, so now we're ready to get our new throttle body in place. We're going to use our new hardware. For that, you'll need a 5mm Allen key, which I have right here on the end of my extension. Just going to start threading this into place. I'm not going to tighten it down yet, just because I do have the 3 other bolts that I'll need to line up. All right, now we're gonna go through and tighten all of these down. While we're down here, we can also reconnect our electrical connection. Remember that it does have that red locking tab, so once it clicks into place, you'll push down on the tab. And then one of the last things we'll do is reconnect our intake pipe. I'm going to slide it over the throttle body. It's a little bit of a tighter fit now that the throttle body's larger, so you guys will have to work with it. All right guys, so it is going to be a tight fit and you are going to have to wrestle with this thing for a little bit. As you guys can see, it's a little bit difficult to get on there because of that larger diameter, but ultimately that's what we want at the end of the day. So we are going to wrestle this into place and get our intake tube sitting flush against the back of the throttle body. Then we'll go ahead and tighten this clamp down. Now we'll reinstall our air box. All right, so we're gonna reinstall our air box now. So we'll slide this down into place. We'll connect our intake tube onto the air box. We'll tighten it down. Reconnect our sensor here. And then we'll reinstall the 10mm bolt over on this side and then tighten it down. All right guys, that's gonna wrap up this review and install. Keep in mind, you can always check this throttle body out more online right here at AmericanMuscle.com.